Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is from Valerie Ross Books. Okay, one of the books is Raving Between the Lies, Interactive Village. Sneak peeks and deep dives. This is from August 24. Author Valerie Ross. What is bullbaiting? And I want everybody to keep in mind that children are being forced into this. So, bullbaiting is abuse. Bullbaiting is taught through L. Ron Hubbard policies in Scientology, which means child abuse is written right into the policies of Scientology. Yeah. FBI, Homeland Security, Child Protective Services. Scientology policies have child abuse written right into them. Scientology Training Routine 0, Part 3. This article is written in response to the poll that closed August 22nd, 2024. When Hubbard created the initial training routines, TRs, in Scientology, there were 4 basic TRs. Training Routine 0 is the first thing a student learns when they begin the intro course. The communications course. Bullbaiting is Part 3 of TR 0. TRO is the very first step in learning to communicate the Scientology way. The COM course, as it is usually known, is supposed to get a person to be able to better communicate in life. That's why they don't talk to anyone that's not a Scientologist, right? TR 0, Part 1, Beingness. 2 people sit across from each other, about 3 feet apart, eyes closed. The drill is complete when the people can be with the other person for an extended period without fidgeting or getting drowsy. Tell me that's not weird, you guys. TR 0, Part 2, Confront. By the way, this is all mind control techniques, and I'm gonna be getting more deep into that. I just have to do some research. We're gonna start comparing. Let's get into it, man. 2 people sit, 2 people like children. 2 people sit across from each other, about 3 feet apart, eyes open. The drill is complete when the people can look at each other comfortably for an extended period without fidgeting or getting drowsy. You guys can go look up, there's a video where Stacy Brooks and Jesse, what is his last name? Jesse Prince and Stacy Brooks demonstrated what a bullbaiting TR is like. TR 0, Part 3, Bullbaiting. This definition is taken directly from Scientology's website. Imagine how much good stuff we could get over there, you guys. I think we should start taking from the site itself. State evidence, The coach says things to the student to try to provoke a reaction, including teasing, joking, and yelling. The coach may say or do anything except leaving the chair. The student must be able to sit and watch the coach without getting distracted. or reacting in any way. If he does, the coach flunks him, and the TR starts over. The coach will attempt to find the student's buttons, things that cause a reaction. The stated purpose of this TR is to train the student to be there in a communication situation without getting distracted. You guys, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of gray rocking. When you're dealing with abusers and you don't give them a reaction. Very similar. If you are reading this and scratching your head, wondering how any of what is described above has to do with actual communication, take a gold star and go to the head of the class. You're right, it doesn't. It's to make people more subservient. That's what it's for. Even the word bullbaiting is a red flag. Bullbaiting originated in Shakespearean times as a blood sport. A bull would have pepper blown up its nose to enrage it. Isn't that wonderful, you guys? Then it would be put in a ring, either in a hole in the ground or tied to a stake. A specially bred English bulldog would come into the ring and bite at it. Just sick people that do this stuff. People paid the privilege of having their dog attack the bull. What a great bunch. Great bunch of people. A 1744 ad that appeared in a Wokingham, Berkshire, England paper reads as follows. Bull baiting on Wednesday next being St. Thomas's Day. 2 bulls will be baited in the marketplace, Wokingham, which will be run for a very handsome Morocco collar, stitched with silver, and a silver plate for a label of £1.50 value. Each dog is to be led 3 times at the first bull, 4 times at the second, and only 1 dog run at a time. The owner of each dog that runs pays 1 shilling for entrance. Proper judges will be appointed before running to determine who may be the winner. A good ordinary at the King's Inn between the times of baiting the bulls. Great bunch, aren't they? At the time, the belief was that baiting improved the meat quality and tenderness when consumed. The Cruelty to Animals Act, passed in 1835, outlawed this and other similar sports. Bullbaiting in Scientology was a similarly unpleasant experience for the person being attacked by their twin, especially for the kids, which is against the law. I saw people leave the course room crying and never return. Like children? Like children. Your twin is allowed to poke and prod you. By the way, I've got to bring it up again, you guys. Just go look it up. In a lot of these mind control experiments, mind control projects that are sometimes directly related to satanic ritual abuse, they love the whole twinning projects. All you got to do is look at, I believe it was Mengele who did the twin experiments in Brazil. And you'll also see it done in Hollywood all the time. They pair people up and call them twins when they're not biological twins. You guys, it's very sick stuff. You don't even want to know. Your twin is allowed to poke and prod you, say hateful things to you, yell at you, make fun of you. They are supposed to do whatever they can without leaving their chair just to get you to react. Huh, sound like a narcissist? If you react even something as simple as a flinch, you are flunked and subjected to further humiliation at the hand of your twin. Another reason a person doesn't get to be close friends with anyone in Scientology is because a drill like this gives them fodder. If your twin knows any words you don't like, they will say it over and over. Upset about something? Expect to hear about it at volume in a course room with other people, like children. Guys, notice how so many ex-Scientologists and Scientologists never want to use the word child or children? Could that be because they try to label the child as an adult in a small body? Aversion to others in your space. Oh, your twin will be right there. Those 10 extra pounds you haven't lost since having a baby. You will be so body shamed. Yeah, this is the whole shaming. It's a shaming thing. This is where the 1,000-yard stare you hear about Scientologists having comes from. I think that's part of it. I don't think that's all of it. I think the reason that these Scientologists' eyes look so like bulgy is, well, there's hypnotism, there's that. But also, Scientologists go through extremely severe sleep deprivation, which they do to prisoners too, by the way. Must be a coincidence. I think that's a lot of the reason why their eyes look like that. And if we really did, well, actually, I did show you guys a picture. I don't want to go into it right now, but of some of these satanically richly abused people, or MK Ultra, how do I say it? MK Ultra, basically like slaves, MK Ultra slaves, basically, with that disassociated eye. This is where the 1,000-yard stare you hear about Scientologists having comes from. And the reason a Scientologist may seem emotionless to you, they don't just seem emotionless. Scientology's very first training teaches them that emotion is bad. Does that sound very reptilian to you guys? And they are trained over and over at every level to ensure that you show no emotion. Very similar to gray rocking, but it's not the same thing, but it reminds me. After a while, it becomes easier to just not feel than to care. It is similarly hard after leaving to shake that training. It isn't easy to break free of the rote communication skills methods of dealing with others that are not really dealing with someone at all. That Hubbard said were the way to communicate with anyone on the subject. Allegedly, it was just Hubbard that wrote this, right? Come on, you guys. Wakey, wakey. I did discover that my bullbaiting training came in useful once in my post-Scientology life. A man decided I had cut in front of him in line at an in-store pharmacy. I think I might have read this already. I'm sorry. I was holding my young son who was running a 105 Fahrenheit fever, and my name had been called to come to the counter to pick up the prescription my doctor had called in. Out of nowhere, a large man jumped up and got directly in my face, spittle flying, telling me he was there first, like a little baby. The pharmacist was reaching for their phone to call security. Customers were either backing off or getting ready to intervene. I was a tired, scared, single mom raising 2 children and couldn't really do anything about the man in my face while holding my very sick child in my arms. I had no support system and no one except my young child was there with me. The last thing I needed was something like that happening to me at that moment. I just stood there and stared unseeingly through the man. After a minute, he said, "Ah, fuck you," and stomped back to his chair, like a true narcissist. I looked back at the pharmacist, paid for the prescription, and left. These days, I would have reacted differently, probably turning my back on him, or just putting my phone to my ear and saying, "Hey Siri, dial 911. But at the time, I reacted exactly the way Scientology taught me to react when being abused. I shut down and took it. Yeah, it's also to create, like, this this tolerance for abuse. That's what their very first training routine teaches you to do, children. The very first one, and no, it certainly doesn't get better. It gets much worse. So I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe this if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.